Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode with Triggering Chaos. I'm your host, So, and this is my co host, M.
Yeah, we're back after
Quite a
bit of a
few
little.
things, and there are a few announcements I do need to make before we get started.
Yes.
First is the major one is that my computer was indeed hacked. So that was part of the issue for not doing any of the streaming or not, I shouldn't say streaming, the podcast that we're doing. I was working on that issue.
Yep.
So there's also work scheduling, and my summer hours do change. So that was also an issue.
Yeah, that was not fun to work around.
It is what it is. I mean, I need a job, so
Yeah, I'm not gonna say leave the job so we can podcast more. Kind of need the money.
fortunately that is ending soon. I'm going back to my winter hours, which will open that up more for recording.
Yeah.
Um, you will also notice that I'm putting up videos of the charity stream with my co-host M and our friend Nem.
Yes.
Um,
Raising money for Alzheimer's.
that will be ending soon, but I will still be continuing putting up what episodes that we have.
Mm-hmm.
The last one will be about 17 hours long, so brace yourselves because I have no idea how to edit to cut that down. That case was miserable hell.
Also, fun hell. It was
Yes,
weird.
but less on that, more going on, continuing on. I have tried some more settings on my PC. Hopefully, while not a huge deal, I did have to lower the quality of the stream or recording to a 720p to try and not give my computer the continuous heart attacks anymore. So we'll
Yeah.
see how that plays out. So far, it seems more stable. So, yay!
We'll take yay.
I'll take yay. Also, good news is that getting a new computer is not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. A friend of mine actually helped me look for parts. So,
Excellent. But yeah, we're back to the Bleach movies. This is
mhm.
something we previously tried to record, but
My computer was
yeah,
having its usual heart attacks.
I dare say more than the usual.
At this point, it's like a daily occurrence, I feel like.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to the first movie.
Which, you know, it's good. I wouldn't say it's the best shonen movie ever, but you know what? I think it does a very good job of entertaining people,
Well,
and it's very beloved by the fan base for good reasons.
well, here's the thing. I always feel like the first movie's always the the experimental ground.
Well, yeah, kind of has to be.
I mean, if you look at something like Dragon Ball, the first Dragon Ball movie was
Pretty much just a retelling of Dragon Ball.
yeah, and in a way that's safe because you can get a new audience that way instead of having them watch so many episodes,
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
especially when it
Uh,
goes into like the triple digits at some points
yeah,
where you get the Z and shit like that.
yeah,
So it's a fair margin, and if you go past that, it was a different side adventure of Dragon Ball. Like I think it was a
yeah.
Blood Ruby, if I remember right, but not the point.
I don't remember if Blood Ruby was the first one of the Dragon Ball ones.
But that's beside the
Uh,
point.
yeah, but this is Bleach: Memories of Nobody.
I think I forgot something.
That's kind of the point of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
We were introduced to a few new characters to cast, but like most shonen anime movies, this is non-canon. Now, later on, there's some hints that it might have been canon. This one actually is the easiest Bleach movie to be made canon.
Simply because of the way the movie works, that's why. But
Yeah,
it's not. It's one of those things that you put into your own interpretation because of how it works, and we'll get into that
yeah,
in a moment.
but yeah, for most, I don't know of any. Well, that's not true. Digimon made it all of its original movies canon to its storyline.
Digimon is a weird thing, so I kind of feel like that's
Yes, but what I was trying to say is most shonen animes, if they have a movie, don't try and fit it in. Even when it fits at time, the actual series itself will probably do something a little bit to completely uncanonize it.
yeah. I'll say this: don't pull a Dragon Ball Super and try and force the movie into the show. If you're gonna make the movie canon, just say watch the movie and move on.
Yeah,
Because they
do
stretched the
not.
Beerus fight on way too long, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I do not like how. I also think I didn't like Resurrector F, and the Resurrector F arc in Super is probably the worst part of Super.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love some of the scenes, but they just stretch it on too long, and I'm getting off topic. So let's get back to it.
Yes. Uh,
So let's go on to our newest character for Bleach.
yes. This is
Um,
the main character introduced for the movie.
Senna, I think her name is.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't remember how you pronounce her last name.
Well, I just got Senna in the.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't have a last name.
Yeah, because the thing about her is that she's got no memories, no
Well,
background.
she has some memories. She knows she's a Soul Reaper. She knows somewhere in Katakura Town she has family that are buried, and she knows how to fight, and she does a damn good job of fighting.
But nobody knows anything about her. She's not in any Soul Reaper registry.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like, she seems to know some of the things of how Soul Reapers work. So that just raises further questions.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do any keto? You
I
recall?
don't believe she ever does Nikito, but she does have her Shikai for her Zanpakuto, which
Mm-hmm.
tells you she's familiar with the art of
Right. Well, I'm just saying
Zanketsu, I
it would be
believe?
100% certain to be she know keto because that's not something you can just spout out and pull off
No.
unless you're a goddamn genius. And she was not that for the Soul Reaper.
No, she gets it, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I do like her Zanpakuto. It's got a. I like the idea of all the fall leaves around it
mm-hmm.
whenever she uses.
I do like her little red sash too. It kind of differentiates her as well. So she does
Muru,
have a lot of similarities
Muru,
and a lot of differences.
Muro Kumaro is, I believe, the name of her. I'm definitely mispronouncing her Zanpakuto.
Miro
But it,
Kumuro, if I.
yeah, it's basically like a Shinto priest staff.
Mm-hmm.
Only it creates wind vortexes, and there's a theme of fall leaves swirling around it.
And she does have a gig guy, if I remember correctly, because she does
Yes.
interact with the real world, and she does pop out to go Soul Reaper.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rukia finds out later on that this Zanpakuto was lost 100 years ago.
Which raises, and again, further questions.
Because as far as we know, it's very hard to basically hand over a Zanpakuto to someone else.
Yeah, we'll
It's
get into that in
doable,
another episode,
but
or another part of this episode.
yeah, it's doable, but it's not a common thing.
No, and there's a reasons for that. Mostly
Yeah,
because a Soul Reaper builds up their Zanpakuto as
yeah,
they wield it.
yeah. The only example I can think of a canon version of that is, I forget his Tolson, the Blind Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
His sword was a hand-me-down from a friend,
Right.
but neither one of them, I think, had the release date. So it was a sword handed down to him, but he made it his own.
Yeah, and Ichigo's
But
another example of something different, but that's
Ichigo,
yeah.
Ichigo's always an example
Ichigo's
of
an example of a lot, exempt from a lot of rules in this world.
yeah. But overall, I really like her design.
Mm-hmm.
She really like it's. Let's face it, we've watched some Shonen Jump movies where the added character does not fit the universe at all.
No.
She looks really good. It's not an original design by Kubo, but Kubo himself basically approved everything about this. And
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing. A lot of people tend to dismiss these movies, but oftentimes the mangaka original creator is involved in some way. He didn't write the story,
Yeah.
he didn't, but he basically just poked his head going, I like it! Which means, yeah, don't be on your high horse, because I hate people who are like, oh, the mangaka didn't do this, so it's immediately bad.
And like I said, even if he was, there are some things he might have done that a lot of people might not have agreed with. So that swings
Yeah.
both ways.
Yeah.
No one's infallible. Some things people are done that don't like. It may be something that I didn't like that say M liked.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
people
But
taste are
overall,
different. Holy hell!
yeah, I think Senna's a really good addition to the Bleach cast.
I think she's for. Here's the thing: because of how many characters are actually in the actual Bleach series, if she was
Yeah.
in the actual whole series, she would have gotten left in the dust.
She would have, yeah.
Let's not deny anything here. Like she probably would have popped up and gotten her ass handed to her.
Like I said, I like her, but she's not going to like breach my top 20.
No,
But I'm not upset she's there. I like her more than some canon
I wouldn't have
characters.
opposed to her popping up in the main series, but she would have gotten left in the dust easily.
Yeah, very easily. In fact, a lot of characters we both really like ended up getting lost in the dust.
Mm-hmm.
But she's just another good example of Bleach's cast of strong female characters. Even though she does get damsel distressed at one point.
Ichigo, you
But
need like life insurance or like death insurance or something for your stomach.
How much blood do you have, boy?
I mean, is that technically blood since he's a spirit right now?
Yes, they've called it blood.
I thought that was just a translation thing.
Okay, maybe it is. I don't know the original that well.
I'm just asking because I was like,
Regardless, the boy has basically a water balloon of blood.
at some point he's gonna have so many scars on his stomach that's just gonna be impenetrable.
Why do you think he's always wearing a band wraps there in his bunkai? He's prepared to start
Eh,
bleeding from there.
Too much scar tissue.
Yeah. But at one point during the movie, Senna gets captured by the big bad of the movie, and
And this is our main villain, Ganryu. Genryu?
yes,
I,
I think Genryu is how you pronounce it.
yeah.
Could be
Again,
wrong.
we're not really experts at pronouncing names, and these
Yeah,
are names
Japanese.
from Japanese and some Chinese lore.
Yep, and also the two of us have not watched these movies as much as we have other parts of the series.
Yeah, like I know the basics.
Mostly
Of most
because
of
it's
these
really
movies,
hard.
But...
Mostly because it's really hard these days to track down the movies.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily watch all of Bleach on Disney Plus, which is still a concept that confuses me. I'm happy for it though, but still confuses me.
Yeah.
Side note: season 2 of Thousand Year Blood War is good, but oh my god, the slow pace Disney Plus is giving me the dub is driving me mental. So you probably can watch the entire dub already on Hulu.
Yes.
I am on episode 4, waiting for the fourth one to be dubbed.
I think 8 is out now.
Yes, I could watch all 8 episodes subbed right now, but I just can't.
But
That's just
moving
a
on
me.
before we go on another tangent.
All the tangents.
This is Ganryu and his troops.
Yep.
None of them are
They're
important whatsoever.
No.
But
These
they're
are
nicely
basically
designed.
yeah. To quote Dragon Ball Z Abridged, these are the misfit minions.
We have the female, the dumb strong one, the wacky one, and these two just run out of taste.
Yeah. They going with more of a Chinese warrior stink
I
to
do
them,
like the
which
idea that they look like they had like having chest protectors, like some sort of
yeah,
armor. Like I know that
yeah,
the robes are supposed to be like hardened spirit energy.
yeah. But an actual bit of physical armor does look nice,
Mm-hmm.
and the green does differentiate them from the black of the Shinigami Soul
But at the same
Reapers.
time, you see the Shinigami details in
Yeah,
it, like the
these guys are a cast aside clan of Soul Reapers that, well, since they rebelled, they're going to keep rebelling despite since they were banished. But they obviously still have some inheritance from their Soul Reaper
mm.
days.
You know what also really helps me set them aside? The hats.
Yeah, the little hats are nice,
But
and they have at least their weapons are somewhat. Either that's the thing about Bleach. At least there's always some unique weapons somewhere.
and they do not have Zangbok toes either.
No, these are
That's
not
one of the
some.
things that made them set them aside from the others is that they were a
Yeah,
group that were not given Zangbok toes. They used a different type of weapon. I forget what they were
yeah,
specifically mentioned as, but
yeah. But Bleach does that a lot with made up new weapons for filler arcs.
yeah, look at the battle.
And
Jesus Christ.
I will still defend the bounded concept.
Oh, I like the bounded concept.
Execution.
I'm just saying, like, that's an example of different weapon types.
Mm.
But
But yeah, each of these guys do have names, but they matter so little that you're never
they're
gonna remember
basically
them.
cannon fodder for the rest of the Bleach crew to fight someone.
Yeah, so Ichigo has someone to delay him slightly until his friends show up to delay them.
Look, we're not gonna lie. This is a shonen show. That's how this works.
Yeah, these movies are rarely are pretty formulaic, but that's the thing. For sometimes you just want a bit of formula to sit down, have a bag of popcorn, and just zone out. That's cool.
To be
As
fair,
long as it's not like bash your head against the wall stupid, which might be the second one.
the biggest draw is the mystery of her, Senna,
Hmm.
why they want her, which I kind of forget that point,
I don't. I'll fill you in when we get there.
mm-hmm. and Ichigo being Ichigo.
Yeah, you want to see Ichigo kick more ass.
Which, speaking of Ichigo being Ichigo,
This movie does one of my favorite things is Ichigo has Kon to pilot his body when he's out and about. He doesn't like Kon piloting his body, so he'll just jump out of his own body to fight. And while he's out of his body is technically comatose. It appears dead, but appears alive. So obviously, a teenage boy just flopping all over the place, gonna get people to call the authorities. Like, oh shit, I think this kid is
yeah,
dead.
does he have a pulse when he's like that, or because his spirit left his body?
It's very vague on how alive or how dead he is. Like, I think it's he has a pulse, but he's not breathing, or he's breathing but has no pulse, which makes no sense whatsoever. You kind of need both for the body to
You know, I'm
function.
just waiting for him to try to return his body. He's getting ready to be dissected.
Oh god, I'm being vivisected.
Put my pancreas back, you bastard!
I needed that. You can keep the appendix. That was gonna burst anyway.
But yeah, like you just suddenly see someone drop down, and you're like, most normal people, which I'm assuming is one of these people, just saw that and called the police, or a
Or
police
it
officer
could
saw
just.
that.
Oh yeah, the police officers themselves could saw that.
Yeah,
Like, I think that building behind them might be a police station, like a little police station, because they have the small ones out through Japan,
yeah.
where
It's
just
kind of
one guy mans it for a few hours and then someone else takes over.
yeah. I thought that may have been a kite shop because of the way the top looked, but what do I know?
Sometimes they do. They design them artsy for the sake of making the town look more pretty.
Much for me.
Other times they look like just like a little booth. It
But
depends on the city.
so for a
Uh,
definition, let's go to Kiseki.
so Kisuke explains the plot of this movie, as you expect, Mr. Hat and Clogs too, in how this actually takes lore from the actual series and expands it, which is how you should do a movie. There's the world of living,
Over
the
here.
world of the Soul Society,
Over here.
and in the center is the Dangai, the principal world. This is the world where one has to travel between to go to either one.
Yeah, if you
In this,
remember in the second season when they're running through and that big worm thing was chasing them, yeah, that
that's the
area.
Dangai. The Dangai itself has different layers to it, and the movie has one part, a large part, take place in a layer. In the Dangai, time works weird, and memories work weird. Those who get lost in the Dangai start to lose their memory, and the memories themselves become kind of congealed somewhere else. And if you lose your memory, you become what is referred to as a blank, which I like. We'll see the blanks in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And the blanks are now appearing in the world of living like they shouldn't. They are chasing something that belongs to them. So they're just the faceless mooks of this. So we have the misfit minions and a whole bunch of mooks in this movie. Now, the blanks themselves are just raw spiritual pressure, and we know from the series that if too much spiritual pressure is in one place in the world of living, weird shit starts happening.
Yeah, kind of like end of days type things can even start happening if too much of it goes on.
Luckily, right now we're not at that level, but we need to be precautious.
Mm-hmm. So,
So yeah, you guys get on that. I'm just gonna sell candy.
so these are the um
Blanks, and
blanks.
you can actually see some people turning into blanks in the background.
Mm-hmm. Now I
So
love these designs.
yeah, it's basically it looks like a candle,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that.
It's simple but effective.
Yeah, they don't, and the thing is, they are absolutely no threat whatsoever.
No, they're not dangerous or
But they have a numbers thing.
yeah, and plus there are spirit pressure, too much spirit pressure in one spot.
Yeah, which starts affecting normal humans around them, forcing their memories out. I believe is what's going on in the background.
Yeah, I always forget exactly that, but they can't kind of create more of themselves if they're around too many people
Yeah,
or too many of them around spirits. I
kind of
should
like
say.
a zombie apocalypse, only with forgotten memories.
Mm-hmm. And
But
like I said,
and that's kind of where the name of Memories of Nobody comes from, because you're a blank. You're a nobody, and you have no memories, but you want your memories back. That's what the blanks are doing. They're chasing their memories.
right. And like I said,
Now,
oh god.
it's not actually their memories they're chasing. They just think this might be my memories.
Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, I did like the design because the white puffy coat is really well, I call it a coat, but that's actually their body
Yeah,
is really contrast standing out, and the red. I still think it looks like a claw or a nail for their head.
or a fang or something. I always see like a single lit candle.
I can see the cannon, but it always just made me think more like a claw, like someone's going up, like a claw going up, on their finger up or something.
Regardless, there is like a level of horror to it. They are a faceless mob.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, they're a faceless
Now, if I
mob.
recall, we were not introduced to the Iran car yet.
No, we were not.
Okay.
Or if we were, they were like silhouettes.
Yeah.
I
So the
forget when
white
this.
representation didn't stand out for anything to us yet.
Yeah, so far the only thing white we've seen is Urdu with the Quincy,
Mm-hmm.
and even then, that's a different kind of white with blue highlights.
Correct.
This is a white and red, which is very different than what
So
we're
a lot
used
of
to.
images for this movie were kind of hard to find. So we're pretty much skipping to the end for this one because basically Ichigo goes after Senna to save her from
Don
Ganryu.
Ryu, Senna, we find out, is what happens every few hundred years or so in the Dangai. All the memories come together and form a being.
Mm-hmm.
This being attracts the blanks. Even if they don't have this blank's memories, there's a chance it might. So the blanks go to
They're
it.
hanging on to any memory they can,
Yeah,
essentially. So at the end of it all,
yeah,
Ichigo takes Senna to a gravestone that she thinks she remembers.
yeah. Because as she is a congealed group of different people's memories, what is her and what is not her is impossible to distinguish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one. This beautiful shot is makes the movie a higher quality in my opinion. Because look, this is just a beautiful shot. Like, look at this and tell me this is not pretty.
I like how she's transparent in this.
Yeah, because she's fading away. The memories have lost their bound together, and they're going to go back to the Dangai and
Mm-hmm.
congeal again in a few extra hundred years. Her Zanpakuto is from a Soul Reaper who got lost in a Dangai. The memory of the sword survived, and the memory of the power survived, and that's how she became a Soul Reaper. She's not. She's just congealed memories.
Now,
Eh,
if you could remind me, because I know I asked you this the last time we tried to record this, but I completely forget.
sure.
The grave that they go to, her name was not written there.
No, it's not even close to a name she thought was there. But she has fallen apart to the point where she can barely see. Ichigo tells her the name is there.
Mm-hmm. And
Here,
I would call that an honest little white lie to comfort someone.
yeah, she definitely does have someone's memory of this cemetery,
Mm-hmm.
and just part. Kind of the family is there. It's just not the one she thinks it is, and she is going to go away. She will never return. So at least Ichigo's letting her go with the satisfaction that she
Peace
was
of
real.
mind, and sometimes that's the best you can offer people. As
Yeah,
tragic as that sounds,
yeah. You
it's
sometimes have to do that with people who are suffering, and especially with people who are suffering through memory degradation, like Alzheimer's. You often have to give a little white lie because if you tell them the truth, it's going to confuse them more.
mm-hmm.
And Ichigo's doing the right thing, and either this is just because Ichigo's from a family of a doctor, or it's just his good nature to not let someone go
I
suffering.
think it's a bit of both because
Yeah,
his raising in a hospital definitely contributes to how he is.
yeah. And he tells a little white lie that, yeah, Senna, this is your family. He also does it in a sense because he also is going to lose memory of her too. When she fades apart, the way that he held her together, no one's going to remember her.
Right, and
And
that
that's
brings
one
us
reason,
to this point.
yeah.
It's your going to
He
school and finding
and
her ribbon.
he gave her, I believe he gave her that hair tie at the movie because she lost hers at one point.
That could be. Like I said,
I
I
forget.
don't remember those
And
parts of it.
the movie ends with him staring at it in a kind of, does he remember? And that's I don't know if he does. He just knows this is someone. He could be just be this is someone's hair tie. I better hold on to that. Could be important. Or maybe even his sisters might like it. Or this was Senna's. But regardless, if Ichigo remembers, he's not going to bring it up because nobody else will.
I always got
So
the impression because I do remember this scene.
it's also a really good scene.
Yeah, and just the look on his face, especially right here,
hmm
and
If you want to believe he remembers Senna, I am not going to take that away from you
no,
because that's the way I go too.
mm-hmm.
But the way I go, he's not going to bring it up because I remember. Nobody else is going to.
It's not worth. He's also not going to bring up heartache for other people.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring up the memory of a dear friend we had for a week and the terrible loss of losing her the way we did. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no. No, 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 no. And like I said, this is another beautiful shot.
Plus, even if he
This,
does bring it up, as we said, no one's going to remember, which is
yeah. And the thing is, Kubo liked this ending so much that he has drawn Senna a few times. She's kind of been a background character, I think, in the manga a few times, basically hinting that maybe this movie is canon, but because everyone's forgotten it, this is why this movie could be canon.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has no impact on the plot whatsoever.
Then we get to the next movie. Well, before we do
Mm.
that one,
Yeah, let's rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, oh yeah, I'm going out right now and buying it.
I give it a solid 7.
A solid 7, yeah. Like, if I saw it on sale, I'm grabbing it, but I'm not going all
I
the way
would
to...
pay. I would give it the price of $20.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go any higher than that.
no, $15, $20.
But the
Like, if I...
reason I rank it 7 is it introduces some interesting plots,
Yep.
keeps it within the lore of the universe of Bleach,
In fact, it expands it in a clever way.
but it never goes outside too
No.
crazy.
No, it never introduced... Well, it introduces one thing that later came back to be canon. The Keto Cannon, capable of destroying an entire reality, which was the Soul Reaper's response to the Dangai going out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But Ichigo's like, fuck that noise,
But
I'm
it's
going
not
to
like
save my friend.
Godzilla's rising from the ocean to stomp
Yeah, no,
Gorkara Town.
or, Ichigo learns Soul Reaper Blue in this movie. And it's never brought up ever again. Anything that's brought up that could be canon stays canon. Anything that's brought up that can't be canon wasn't that important anyway.
No, but it still would have made some sense.
Yes, this movie fits the Bleach lore.
Mm-hmm.
There are no problems fitting it in, but it will not hurt not to have it.
No. Now, the next one...
Pretty much is the reverse.
Yeah, now, before we get to there, let's sit... this was also before we learned more about the Zombok Toes.
And a lot more before we learned about the Iran cartoon. This is...
Yeah. So, the only thing we knew about the Zombok Toes is that there was a Shikai and a Bankai. That was it.
Oh, also the next movie was created because of a fan poll. At the time, Bleach did a fan poll of who is the most popular character, and this character won the right to have a movie based around them. Unfortunately, they decided to bastardize the character to make this movie, because this does not fit the character Toshiro Hitsugaya at all.
No,
but
no,
at
it
the
does
time,
not.
Hitsugaya was the most popular character in Bleach by a wide margin.
Now, I can understand why.
I like Hitsugaya. He's not in my top 20, but he's probably 21.
Number one, he's a child prodigy. He's got a cool Bankai.
Yes.
Not, like I said, beautiful and powerful is going to go to Rukia once she learns Bankai, which we'll talk about later. But it's an ice dragon. You can't really go wrong there.
It's a simplistic idea, and I think it's well executed for his Bankai. But Diamond Dust Rebellion is not a good movie.
Here's the thing. If this had no connection to anything whatsoever, and was just a movie being put out, it could be an okay movie.
But because this is tying into Bleach, and because it wants you to take it seriously, but the more you think about this movie, the more you end up going, that's not what we know at this point. And the more we learned about the Bleach universe, the more this movie makes even less sense.
Yeah, and that was just... So, let's get started here. So, what is going on here is that Toshiro and
his bestest friend we totally knew about all along.
Do you have a name for this guy? Because I didn't have the picture of him.
Oh yeah, I totally forget his name.
But basically, these two were in competition to get hits the guy.
Shojuro Kusaka, I believe his name is pronounced.
They get to receive the sword. No, that's
that's later. Basically, these two are they're the top of the class in their academy, and they have both manifested Hyorimaru, the same Zanpakuto, which apparently is forbidden among the Solar Society. You can't have the same Zanpakuto for two people or more.
Which is never explained why.
No, they hint that it might make Hyorimaru weaker.
Well, it's
just a taboo. I don't know. It is poorly explained, and that is basically this movie in a nutshell. That's poorly explained. Could you stop for a second?
Yeah, listen. I know we want action and shit like that, but all we're gonna get is angst. Ansem make angst hit Toshiro and jack shit an explanation.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even explained where this guy got his minions from. Like, the other group they were a group of
Yeah,
removed Reapers. That was at least an
they were all
explanation
banished
there.
together. Yeah, he ends up having two Arrancar out of bloody nowhere when Arrancar are still the freshest thing ever.
And as far as I know, would hate Reapers because they kill them.
Well, he's inciting a Diamond Dust Rebellion. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I do like Diamond Dust Rebellion as a name, even though it doesn't really make that much sense besides Yorimaru's Diamond Dust power. But
But
and also not really a
by the way, they
rebellion.
assassinated him
Mm-hmm.
just for
The
reference.
the Soul Reaper Secret Stealth Force killed him.
So as
They
far as
did a
anybody
terrible
knew,
job.
this man's dead.
Yes. So the plot of the movie is, at one point, the Soul Society's king is having his stamp transported from one palace to another through the human world. Let's
It's
not
like,
open that can.
uh,
Yeah, there we go.
but before we discuss that for just a minute, can I just bring up one thing?
Sure.
Were these not the worst assassins then? Because they didn't make sure he stayed dead.
Um, See, normally in most realities, that gushing that much blood from the stomach and the throat is dead, but this is Bleach.
Well, I'm just sorry. Like, wouldn't you like cremate the body or remove the head or something? Like, you are terrible assassins.
Yeah, there's more to assassin than just kill. You have to usually dispose of the evidence.
And make sure he's dead. I mean, I know he's
Yes,
technically dead because he's a soul reaper, but you know what I mean.
yes, it's confusing. Regardless,
Decapitate him.
I mean, he's pretty much decapitated. He somehow lives, so I don't know. This is just
I
terrible.
don't know. Soy Fun, you got a lot of lessons to teach these guys about finishing the goddamn job.
I mean, they've been working. This is like their 15th assassination today, and the bar is open in 5 minutes. Can we just take off early and go get some sake?
She pulls out a Shikai.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Where was she today? Was she down with the flu that day?
But yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
So this
So
is the
the royal seal.
yeah.
Now, I didn't understand why this was so important until I learned more about Japanese family stuff. But in Japanese, you don't have a signature; you have a family stamp.
Mm-hmm.
With that, you can make all kinds of decrees. All your family legal stuff happens through this, even today.
So this
So
is
the
a
Soul
really
King,
big deal because this is for like the world of the dead.
yeah, this is the king of the dead in a sense. Seal. If he makes a decree with it and stamps it, it is law. And through mysticism, it becomes reality law. Only in this movie thing.
Yeah, this is
Because
never brought up. It does not actually exist canon wise, so don't even try to
and
argue
what
me that
we
one.
know about the Soul King, Soul, when is he going to use that? How is he going to use that? Is the better question.
Well, considering the fact his big toe is inside Rangiko, I don't think he's going to.
Yeah.
Like that's just a whole other bunch of questions we don't have answers to, and I don't think I
Again,
want them.
the more we know about Bleach, the less sense this movie makes, which is sometimes unfortunate for movies. But this one became so bad faster.
Like
Like it
if
was,
this was the only thing that was out of place in this movie,
we
I
could
could
excuse
accept
that.
that. Like maybe
But
this is some seal that the Soul King gave to them to make decrees with.
yeah,
But there's
why
no
is it
explanation
being
on that one.
why is it being transported through the human world? I can understand transporting it around in the Soul Society for security reasons or ceremonial reasons, but why bring it to the human world where A, you have less defenses, B, hollows show up there all the goddamn
C, you
time,
could have a rod car show up.
D, it's the Soul King's power. We already know high levels of soul energy impacts the human world like crazy. This is basically like having like a nuclear procession through a town without the lead line shielding.
Not only that, later on they can make pocket dimensions. So there's another question for you.
They make it a no-fly zone around it, which just attracts Ichigo's attention, so he breaks his way into it. Hey, I can't go here. Well, now I can.
Yeah, once again, Ichigo breaking the laws of Bleach is kind of like I yeah.
Yeah, no. But yeah, our main villain survives his assassination, steals this, and because he has Hyorimaru, and because Hitsugaya was the captain in charge of guarding it, people think he did it.
Yep. So this is the guy that stole it.
Yep.
I can only guess who it is. No
Yeah.
clue whatsoever.
Mm.
If only there was someone that could have been.
Now, my question is, was he waiting for Hitsugaya to transport this, or was he just waiting for this to be transported?
My question is, how the hell did he know?
That's another good freaking question. He's been dead society-wise for years, and he's hanging it with Arrancar. It's not like he's going to ask his Arrancar, do you know any Soul Reaper news?
And it's like, and if you did know, you know there's going to be security details. You know they're going to be
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. The only reason he can pull this off is because when he uses Hyorimaru, Squad 10 and Hitsugaya are like, but that's Hyorimaru over there. Like, could you
Actually, if I
imagine if he
remember
attacked...
right, Toshiro wasn't there. They think he stole it.
No,
because...
he was there. It was his job to be in charge of it. He and
Oh.
Ron and Giku were in charge of it.
Okay, I forgot.
But
Because
yeah,
I thought they thought he
could,
did it because of the
no,
Zabuto.
no, but they thought he did it because he's okay. It's missing, and the only thing there is Hyorimaru damage. So ergo, it had to be him. Regardless, could you imagine if he tried this stunt when, like, say, Byakuya is guarding the seal?
No, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure out how if he was there. Why?
Because none of his men survived.
Wasn't Rangiku there?
Yes, but nobody trusts their lieutenant when the captain's a suspect.
Right.
It's basically what happens what should happen if a police officer shoots a guy and the bullet matches his gun's rifle and barrel.
Fair enough.
You should make that guy suspect number one. So Hyorimaru damage, regardless, gotta be Hitsugaya. He's got Hyorimaru.
Anyway,
and like I said, yeah, that is the only part of the movie I can understand of. Hey, frost damage that matches Hyorimaru.
well, I just want to make sure I just wasn't remembering anything wrong because I didn't.
There were not a bunch of eyewitnesses that could go, our captain didn't do it. Also, at the same time, if a whole bunch of people say our captain didn't do it, but all evidence points to your captain, you're gonna think the entire squad's gone rogue.
Fair. I just forgot if Hitsugaya was there or not. That's honestly part
I
of.
believe he was. I do believe he's the one who told Ichigo, "Hey, don't come here. Turn around and go back out the hole you made."
But speaking of the Rancar,
they're named Yin and Yang.
These are what the only interesting things about this movie, really.
I like the designs. The twins are kind of neat. Fire and lightning twins.
I mean, I like the fire sword and the whip.
Yeah, lightning whip's pretty cool. That is all we have to say about them, though.
That's all they're here for.
Yeah. At least they're not overly sexualized.
Yeah.
Now, later on, they do become giant mutants and get their asses handed to them by Soifon and Yoruichi.
Yeah.
I approve of that part.
This is
like
the action, in case you can't tell.
The action in this movie's all right. Like it's asking you to turn off more of your brain than usual.
Yeah. And Hitsugaya gets all angsty and doesn't want help.
And doesn't act like himself throughout most of this entire movie. Like, people wanted Hitsugaya as the main character. I can understand that. But you don't just want his power set, you want his character.
Yeah. Now, not wanting to drag Ichigo into this, I can understand.
But he avoids everyone. He starts acting super shady with almost no reason.
And explains absolute jack shit like the rest of this movie.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the actual Hitsugaya himself, when there was a conspiracy going on, he was the one leading the charge to uncover the conspiracy. He didn't believe Aizen was dead. He felt that if it was Gin, there needs to be more evidence. He's the one who basically uncovered that, oh, hey, Aizen's alive.
Yeah.
He brought Rangiku with him.
I found out that Central 46 was killed.
Dead. Yeah. And being posed, Aizen was posing as them. So, it's in his nature. Honestly, when I thought we were getting a Hitsugaya movie, you know what I thought it was going to be?
What's that?
Another mystery he was going to solve.
You know what I thought we might have gotten?
What?
The background story about how he figured out Central 46 was killed. Like going through the steps for that one and still have maybe, non-canon-wise, a little adventure. Like,
Yeah,
it didn't have to be canon-wise for that. Like, I would have enjoyed that one or the other.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be another conspiracy he was going to solve. Like, I don't know, maybe corruption in the creation of the 14th Squad, and him finding out that no, this was never approved. This is all hoopla. Something like that, where you get to see his intellectual mind, him trusting his lieutenant, trusting his squad, and of course bringing in Ichigo as a wild card.
But no, we get little angsty Toshiro, and he goes out to fight his ex best friend.
Yep. After leaving behind his captain's jacket because I have sullied the name of being a captain. No, you haven't.
You didn't do jack shit.
Yes, you lost the seal, but you lost the seal because of someone outplaying you.
God, that if you lost being a captain for that, I don't think anybody would be a captain in this show anymore.
No, because every captain has suffered a major loss at least one point. Some die from them, but no.
Actually, the only one that would still be a captain would be Shusui. And his and the other guy.
Yeah, Ukitake and Sushui be the only one, and Sushui might lose his because of his constantly leaving the office to go drinking.
So those would be the only two that would still be captains at this point.
Yes.
But,
Besides the ones that gave up being captains because they were mustache twirling evil.
I will say this: that this actually have an awesome dragon image.
Yeah, it eventually his evil Yorimaru gets corrupted by the King's Seal and becomes a big, huge two-legged ice dragon.
You know, it's nice to know that all this spiritual energy in the human world doesn't have any side effects or anything like that.
Well, okay, this does take place in the Soul Side, thanks for it. Of course, it takes place on the hill where we're going to murder Rukia, but...
Oh shit, you're right, I'm sorry, I thought this was the human world. Mistake.
Well, with how many plot holes this movie has, that easily could have been a plot hole.
I just forgot, it's just the background image, I don't remember the tall buildings in Soul Society, so it's like, that's on me, but...
There's a handful of them. I always just imagine they were grain storage towers.
That's fair. You can easily confuse this for Karakura Town, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's just the background, it's not supposed to...
The color scheme's the same.
Yeah. But, so we continue fighting, blah, 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 blah.
He gets back his jacket because everyone trusts Hitsugaya, so he has the dramatic samurai run down each other.
Toshiro wins, everything goes back to normal.
And we forget this movie ever happened.
Right, let's move on. I'm done. No,
honestly, okay. 1 to 10. What do you rank this movie?
I give it a 3.
I give it a 4 at best.
My...
Like, I would pick up this movie if it was in a bundle with the other 4.
I would give it $5 or less.
Yeah. Unless this comes with a bundle or it's $5 and... Or I'm at a vendor's table and someone's like, hey, take this movie off my hands. That's the only way I'm walking away with
Again,
this one.
the biggest problem is that there's so much not explained.
Mm-hmm.
There's lore all over the place.
Yep.
And it's not lore that adds anything.
No, it
In
really
fact,
doesn't.
when we find out more lore, this just gets tossed around even more.
Yeah.
Now, if this was just a movie on its own, this had no real connection to Bleach, and this was just being told as a story, just for fantasy's sake, it would have been a fine movie. Like,
but because
we know about these characters,
yeah,
we know this world, it falls apart so easily.
Yeah, it'd be basically like the next Star Wars movie. We find out, actually, I can't think of a worse example. We already had the midichlorians. Never mind. Okay, it'd be like the next Gundam movie. No giant robots whatsoever, but they still call it Gundam.
Yeah, just about that level, yeah.
You're just supposed to put, no, we came for the Gundams. Where are they? You come to a Bleach movie for Bleach characters.
Indeed.
Like, I'm sure some people first introduction to a lot of anime is through the anime movie. I'm pretty sure the first Dragon Ball Z thing I ever watched was World's Strongest. I could be wrong about that. I forget what the first Dragon Ball Z thing I watched was.
Honestly, I started with Dragon Ball, but...
I did not. That was not airing on my channels. But, regardless,
yeah, so
you sometimes do... A movie can get you be a fan, but this is not how you get people interested in Bleach World, because... Let's just say you like this guy from this movie, and then you watch the show and find out that, no, he's a serious guy who's by the books.
Like I said, if this was just off on its own, it's an okay movie. If this had no connection to Bleach, this could be higher up on the scale. But because of what it's connected to,
It's pretty well animated. There's a few hiccups here and there, but name an anime movie that doesn't have a few hiccups here and there.
For one thing, his guy's swords are a lot longer than his. He's going to win this easily.
But he has stumpy little arms.
That doesn't matter much when he's going to spear him first.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
like almost twice the size of his sword.
I know. If it was the same length sword and his stumpy little arms, then it would be funny. Anyway.
But let's move on to a good movie.
Yes.
Let me just...
Fade to Black.
Now, this is actually, I would think, tied for my favorite.
Yeah. 3 and 4, we'll just say this right now, are definitely the two best of the 4 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 1 itself, really good. 3 and 4, legit do everything I want from a Bleach movie.
And I will say this, like I said, I always feel the first one is always the experimental step.
Yeah,
So
to see if we can make theatrical releases, to see if there's demand for it.
So I always want to give the first one the benefit of the doubt of where it's standing.
Yeah, it's new. It's got a
because I in my
lay
opinion,
groundwork down.
they either go with retelling of something,
Yeah, which is a safety.
It's too out there, which is what
Yeah.
the second one was, in my opinion.
Yes.
But the third one and the fourth one hit it dead on, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And let's continue on and we'll explain that. So Rukia gets killed.
Yeah, opening movie, one of your dual agonists get killed.
I feel like we've been here before.
I feel like we've been here before. So, the first movie was about memories. This one's also about memories, but they take it in a different twist.
Mm-hmm.
The plot of this movie is everyone forgets Rukia. Everyone except for one character, and we'll get into that character in a second.
Yeah. Specifically, they just forget about her. None of her is removed from existence.
But they don't ever remember interacting with her, which leads to, if this person was so important to your life and now is gone, your brain now has to make leaps of logic how you got to certain ways. Or just outright forgets what they've done for you. So, Ichigo, as the example, got his original powers from Rukia. Forgetting Rukia, why would he have powers? He still does, he just doesn't know he does.
And as far as his memories knows, he's always been fighting hollows since a certain incident.
But he doesn't really remember. Actually, I don't think he remembers. He doesn't remember being a Soul Reaper because Rukia made him one.
Oh, yeah.
He just remembers he can see ghosts. Byakuya, who went looking for Rukia to adopt her for his sister's sake, didn't adopt her. He's still looking for his beloved sister, but has no memory of finding her. Renji, who befriended Rukia and his entire life's goal was to be strong enough to be with Rukia, is now just getting stronger for no real reason. He's not sure what he's doing.
And
he's just going through the motions.
He's still a lieutenant.
Yeah, because that was always going to be something his skill set would lead him to. It's just he no longer has a drive to really jump up the ranks even faster.
Mm-hmm. Now, also, Ichigo remembers hat and clogs.
Kinda? You see, the only character who totally remembers Rukia is Kon, because he's not a soul. He's a modified artificial soul. He doesn't obey the same laws of memories as everyone else does. So he wakes up, freaks out, whereas Rukia, Ichigo kind of remembers Kon, but at the same time he doesn't really remember why he got Kon. But then, here's the thing, all of Rukia's stuff is still around.
Mm-hmm.
So when Kon shows Ichigo a letter from Rukia saying, I've gone back to the Soul Society for a mission, and he's like, Rukia, and he slowly starts to put 2 and 2 together and remembers her, thanks to both how close his soul was to Rukia and Kon's interference.
Mm-hmm. And that
so he goes
to hat and clogs.
Kisuke.
I just like call him hat and clogs.
Hat and clogs is fun to call. He does not remember Rukia. He remembers Kon. He made Kon, and
he knows Ichigo. He knows
of Ichigo, but he doesn't remember Ichigo being able to fight. So through Ichigo and Kon explaining things to Kisuke, he's basically going on the lines of, you have no reason to lie to me about this shit.
You have no reason to even know this shit. Hell, you have no reason to have Kon.
So, clearly something weird has gone on. Let's investigate together. So, Kisuke sends Ichigo to the Soul Society to find Rukia, and then he continues to do research. This movie, Kisuke actually does more than go, allow me to explain. He actually goes, I'm curious what's going on, I'm gonna stick my nose in. He actually
Indeed.
fights in this movie, and I love it.
Because
This is the first.
Kisuke
It's
at
good.
heart is an inventor, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a curious fucker, is how I describe him too.
I like that description. That works.
Yeah, if he can experiment or examine things from a distance, he will. But when he can't, oh yeah, he'll deliciously stick his head, going, "Hello, I'm here to annoy people and learn things."
Especially that guy who has my old job.
I hate you so much. Ah, you. But yeah, what happened is two little orphan kids that Rukia used to know have returned and want Rukia back. They were really young when Rukia was taking care of them. They want Big Sis back, and they think everyone else has stolen her from them. So make everyone forget who she is and make her forget her life up until they
Now
disappeared.
I said this
Give
before.
them back the family they wanted.
Yeah, now I said this before, and I still think it's an interesting tie-in. Their scythe that they used to make everyone forget Rukia looks like a blank was made. It was made out of a blank. Like their body
Yeah,
was twisted up and their head elongated to make this weapon.
I don't think it's on purpose, but if it is, that is some deep level cut, sir, and I love
Yeah,
it.
no, I'm just saying like I don't think it's on purpose. Maybe they just saw the design and used it, but they didn't really.
Or just white and red are just a cool combination to
Yeah,
use in Bleach.
but I'm just saying like, but you got to admit that that's a lot of similarities.
It is.
So if it was on purpose, bravo on that ingenious work.
Mm-hmm.
If not, bravo on the coincidence.
I
Either way,
love
bravo.
yeah, I love the design of the two orphans.
Yeah,
They're raggedy enough, but they're also kind of creepy looking. I That really does work for them because
given what they've been through, if I recall correctly, weren't they eaten by a hollow or something?
sort of, yeah.
So,
So them returning is creepy. Their designs are creepy. Uh, Suzuku is the boy and Homura is the girl.
and the severe fact that if they had masks, it would be really good around cars.
Yeah.
I mean, they're wearing white. They
Mhm.
hate Soul Reapers at this point.
Yep. Because Soul Reapers took our Rukia. And the thing is, they're still fairly immature. They're still kind of kids, even though they're older bodies. They just want Big Sis back, and you end up feeling for these two.
Here's the thing, though. This movie, if Ruki had been aware of herself, could have
Hmm.
saw this entire movie in 5 minutes flat.
But the kids are like, "You forgot us. We want you back," and then just jump to violence in a very childish method of, "We don't have time to wait. We need Big Sis back now." But if they were able to stop and talk and explain to the Rukia that, "Hey, we used to be friends. You've forgotten us. Can we be a family again?" She would have been like, "I'm sure we have like 4 extra wings in the Kuchiki Manor we could just have you guys hang out in."
Not only that, she would probably take them to Kisige for help for figuring out if there's anything else wrong with them.
Yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure they're not.
yeah, they're
There's a
not.
lot of things going on here.
There is. This whole movie is a tragedy.
And a lot of different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
biggest
we,
the biggest tragedy is the twins, unfortunately.
yeah,
Well, I call them twins, but I don't know if they're
I don't even think they're related,
well, they're related
but
enough by that they're family, so it's
yeah, they're definitely a found family. At least these two might be siblings. I don't think they are. It doesn't matter. They're a family, and the thing about a good tragedy is we, the viewers, can scream all the answers, and nobody can hear us.
and at a certain point they're just doing what they feel is right.
Yeah, again, very childish, and they're also kind of tortured by the hollow that destroyed their lives.
Mm-hmm. So they're just taking actions they feel is needed to return what they lost.
And a little cameo by my cat in the background who thinks he's starving.
So if things had just calmed down, they had just had a chance to talk it out. Rukia, even if for whatever reason they couldn't take her into the mansion, there's like so many other things that could have worked out for these two.
They could have lived at Kisuke's place. I'm sure Kisuke would have liked having more weird kids in his place.
Oh my god, he would introduce them to candy.
So I decided I accidentally made the guys who can make people forget hyped up on sugar. On
So
the plus
that's why
side,
he's
we
on
don't.
the ceiling.
On the plus side, I no longer have to pay any taxes.
um, but the only thing I really would like to know is where they got that scythe. Because there's a
Yeah,
big mystery on that one.
yeah.
Because it's not a Zanpakuto.
Zappa. It's not an Arankar Zanpakuto.
It's not some sort of bullshit MacGuffin. Well, it is a bullshit MacGuffin, but not like the seal for the previous movie was.
No. The mysteries of this movie are just enough to keep you interested.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on a little bit. So
Because Rukia was the reason he became a Soul Reaper. He came to the Soul Society to save Rukia, and that's how he met everybody. Without Rukia as the joining bridge between all these people, Ichigo is once again a rogue Shinigami who has Bankai.
yeah, that's gonna. There needs to be an explanation here.
And nobody can figure out what the bleep was going
Especially
on.
when Ichigo starts talking to Renji about everything Renji's been through.
And Renji's just like, the fuck are you?
How the hell do you know me? And Ichigo's telling him to use his Bankai, because this is after the Saving Rukia arc.
Yeah,
I
this is
don't
during,
think this was anything to do with Arankar either.
it was during the middle of the Arankar production, so Arankar could have shown up and it would have fit better.
Okay.
I'm slightly curious. I wonder what happened to Aizen's brain while that's going on.
Why the hell am I
Because
here?
he's like, how do I have the second part of the Hogyoku?
Oh well.
Yeah,
Nothing changes.
yeah, he's just gonna be completely confused for a weekend. Like, am I under the illusion of my own sword?
Where did I get this woman from? Or he may just sit there wondering where the hell she got there.
Hello,
Who are you?
can I go? Can I go home? No,
I took you for a reason. I can't remember why.
I took you for a very important reason. Did I write down? Did I write it down?
Wait, who are all these Arankar around me?
Okay, I remember making you. Okay, you're ugly. I don't remember making you.
That raises so many questions right now.
It does, but we don't get to see that, unfortunately.
I
It would've been
honestly,
fun.
in my opinion, I also think if he was fused with the Hyoko,
Yeah, he might be immune to it at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think at that point his power level was just like, nah, I'm just gonna remember everything, and just not worry about it.
I am gonna sit back and enjoy everyone being confused. What the fuck is going on, though? This is hilarious.
Just hope trade Ichigo so he can do whatever he needs to do.
This is the best amnesia episode of a soap opera ever.
But
Yeah,
yeah. So
Ichigo has
Ichigo
to.
pretty much is charging Soul Society again.
Yeah, yeah. Only now he's the strongest thing ever, pretty much.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take another captain to stop him at this point.
And even then, I don't think most captains could stop him.
So
But yeah,
meanwhile,
Rukia is sent back to the slums.
and her old kimono, which is actually looks kind of cute on her,
I do like the design, yeah. And the kids are just being kids again.
and she remembers nothing before
Yeah. But
Byakuya picking her up.
her heart still remembers Ichigo and all the things that happened. So whenever Ichigo does something so outrageous you can feel out in the boonies, she starts having little flashbacks, which the two do not like because
I
it
wouldn't
means
exactly
Rukia.
call those flashbacks. Flashbacks, I don't
Okay.
think are supposed to hurt.
I don't know. Have you ever had a had a wartime flashback? Those appear to hurt.
Fair.
And with all the blood Ichigo himself has lost, that's the equivalent to a small army being killed.
Fair again. So, while they're trying to keep Rukia from being too distracted by her proper memories,
Yeah.
Ichigo and Renji are still going at it.
Yeah. And Ichigo's basically just like, you know, without your Bankai, you're not even a threat to me right now.
My what now?
Yeah. Renji doesn't remember his Bankai. But you know who remembers his Bankai? Zabimaru, his sword.
Yeah, that's kind of the weird thing here. Like that.
Again, because the souls of the Zanpakutos are made, they behave slightly differently.
Now,
But
this
the
is
most interesting part of the movie for me is how Ichigo and Byakuya interact in this movie.
this is the best part to me right here.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, they forget Rukia, but none of her stuff was removed.
No, he finds Rukia's room, her drawings, the notes from her sister about Rukia, and he remembers the promise he made to his beloved: find my sister and make amends for me leaving her in the slums. So to him, he has been doing this nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And here's someone claiming they know Rukia. And this is a Byakuya who is still willing to break the rules for his beloved. He's not made that super vow to his behave slightly differently.
Okay, and you
But
just
it's
broke up
still
for a
Byakuya
moment
under
there.
the hood. Okay, you cut out there, Soul.
Can you hear me?
A little bit. You're very low.
Come on. Hello?
That's a bit better, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you broke up for a minute on my end. I had to reconnect my plug.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know if that was recorded, but yeah, this Byakuya is going to behave a bit differently, but it's still him under the hood. It's still him, but he hasn't fully committed to that vow he made to his parents yet because he hasn't fully broken the law for them yet.
Right, but he also finds Rukia's room, and
Her
none of this
her
stuff should
things,
be
and
here, as
no,
far as he knows.
but it does match up with the things his beloved spoke about.
Mm-hmm. And it leads a lot of credit to what this random Shinigami charging in here is saying.
Yeah, if this guy is my one chance to fulfill my vow to my wife, I'm going to fudge the rules a bit. And he does. He does never chases Ichigo. He actually lets him escape at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And does give him clues to where I was going to search next for Rukia, but for some reason I don't think I did.
And that's what I really liked about this movie is it plays with the logic that it brings into it.
It
Like,
remembers the character growth both of Ichigo causing and even before Ichigo was a thing in the Soul Society.
mm-hmm.
It realizes how, like, Rukia herself does not think she's that important of a cog in the system. But this movie does point out how one person's impact can have huge ripples on many people's lives.
Mm-hmm. But I also
It's
like that.
basically a more badass version of that Christmas movie where the guy wishes he was never born. I
And
forget the
what I
name of it
really
now.
like about this is though is like they literally stated that the memory of Rukia was removed, and that's exactly it, just the memory. Anything
Yep.
physical was never touched.
I'm sure Ukitake is at one point looking at his pay register and going, who have I been sending all these paychecks to?
That's another good question. Why is he not bringing up any questions about this?
I don't know, maybe during this movie he's having one of his really bad coughing fits and he's hospitalized.
Makes
It's
sense
a
to
thing
me.
that happens to him, and it works.
But like I said, just like I said, Rukia could probably still become a Soul Reaper at this point, but she doesn't remember it.
No, her
So,
last memory is before meeting Renji and deciding to become an academy student, and when she was in the academy is when she met Byakuya.
mm-hmm. And there's one other awesome scene.
Yeah, and
Teamwork. You're
Renji,
doing it right.
when Renji starts piecing things together, he realizes I have Bankai. This Rukia must be important to me. I kind of like this Ichigo guy. He's kind of a pain in the ass, but I like him. So let's team up and save the day. And the idea of Ichigo writing he was Zabimaru is just fucking
To be
epic.
fair, this is better than
Stupid,
the team up
pointless.
Goryu.
Yes, I'll agree with that too. But it's pointless and stupid because, Ichigo has super speed. What does he need by riding a giant bamboo wooden snake? But at the same time, fuck you, I'm gonna ride a giant bamboo wooden snake.
Uh, it's just so much fun to look at.
And that's what these movies should also do, is they should also give us, fan servicey shit like this.
I'm not opposed to this at all.
No. Give us team ups that are ones we've always wanted or techniques we've always wanted. Shit like that.
Have some fun. We're not saying it has to be rigid to the rules of everything.
No, fun. Fun is the most important thing. Like, let us turn off our brains in the fun way. Don't let us, have to turn off our brain because the plot makes no goddamn sense.
Yes.
Because this plot makes sense. We like it. But when the action sets come on, we can just go, ah, yes.
Speaking of the
No
action,
deep thoughts. Yeah, when things start falling apart for the two, they decide to fuse with Rukia, creating the terribly named but coolly designed Dark Rukia. You may have seen this character from many, many crawling in your skin style AMVs.
it's
But
a nice
honestly, Dark
design.
Rukia's
It's her.
Chihakusho
Yeah, thank you. I cannot think
turned
of it.
white.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
And
why that stuck in my head.
and a nice
Also,
cape.
the scythe look. Yep, and the scythe and the animation. Also, it plays an Irish dance song to this fight, and it's so good. Like, the reason why this movie might be better than the fourth would totally be the soundtrack. The
I could see it.
fourth has better action scenes, I think, but this one has a better soundtrack.
Oh, I can easily see
Also,
that. Yeah.
also has also has more keyscape. So I'm kind of flip flopping which one I like more. So depending on what day you ask me, three is better or four is
I will
better. And
explain
right
why
now
I
I'm
like
leaning
three
towards
just a
three is
little
better.
bit better, but we'll wait until the end for that. We'll go over
Yeah,
the whole thing.
but yeah, this is a really good scene, and the problem with it is it's Ichigo now has to fight a possessed rookie in a sense, and it's never a great thing to have a character fight a character they care for.
Yeah, Rookie
It's
Ichigo's not
cool
gonna
for us,
go
the
full
audience.
throttle on this one.
No, no, he's not. Hey,
But
Hudson, you want to be
so
part of the
Kiski's here
podcast?
to explain everything.
Although I don't know why he showed up in his old captain's uniform. I know the current captain of Squad 12 had his brain completely erased, but he backed up his brain. I'm
I
sure
think
his
he's just
spirit.
using that to make a point.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to put it on because he spilled some white goo on his nice green jacket. Also, well, Riku's gone nuts. The hollow that made all this is
Oh wait, no,
becoming
he
some
was
sort
technically
of
still captain because remember he left because he put the Hyokaku in
no,
Rukia.
no. That's not why he left as
What was
captain.
it? I know there's a reason. I know
He
there's a reason why he
used
showed up as a
he
captain.
used the Hogokyu, and that's why he left. Now he just shows back up for fan service in his jacket. It's basically all it is.
I thought there was another
He
reason.
never
Maybe I'm
brings
thinking.
up why he's in the jacket. Someone asks him, but he doesn't give a good answer to it.
Maybe I'm just thinking of something else. Oh, moving on. Not the first time a
I mean, he
rumble
looks
do
nasty enough.
last.
Yeah, my biggest problem with this scene is how phallic the giant goo shooting thing behind him is.
Well, the image of all the goo everywhere else is not helping this.
No, no, it is not.
Look, it's either
But
one
yeah,
of
that's
M's worst nightmares going on over there, or it's something phallic. So either way, M's not gonna have a good time with this.
yeah, no, this is that. Anyway, one plot point we didn't bring up is the current Squad 12 captain was investigating things. His entire brain got erased. All of his memories, just his own memories, got erased. But when Kisuke shows back up and talks to him, he remembers, oh, right, you're the kind of guy who backs up your brain and then opens up a drawer or something and pulls out a spare brain. Mayuri is a weird freaking guy.
Oh, like you wouldn't do that
The
if
guy
you
who
could.
would just leave it like lying around for someone to find.
Well, if you can't find it, what good is it?
Obviously, I'd have a backup plan for myself to find it, but somebody else is not me.
Well, what if Kizuki was the backup plan?
Look, just Kisuke wouldn't be my backup plan. He'd be my first plan. Because I would
Yeah,
trust
but the other guy
weirdo.
doesn't like him as much.
That's my point. Anyway, the big phallic thing is just there's for all the other Bleach characters to do something while Ichigo's having the one-on-one heart filled with Rukia.
And Kizuki's like, yeah, we gotta
Because
deal with that because otherwise we're all gonna die.
or forget things. I forget which.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the strain
And,
is too much for the kids.
yep. They start fading away while Rukia returns to normal. Byakuya has a pretty heartfelt scene too. Well, not heartfelt, a cool scene before this happens. But anyway, the climax of this movie is really good. Full of emotion, full of wow, full of emotion.
Do we mention full of emotion?
Yeah. You do come to feel for these two, even though they're only in the movie for a little bit, although kind of wish they would stop putting attention on the girl.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, anyway.
Not a single clue.
But Ruki at least gets to have a good bond with them, as her true self.
And promises to remember them.
Movies often remember how do people remember people who are non-canon and will never show up ever again.
Eh.
Mm. It's a little bit ironic.
But I would definitely. This is another $20 movie for me.
Yeah, I'd pay 25 to 30 actually if it came with like English commentary.
I would say this is definitely a solid 9 for me.
Yeah, solid 9. Also, you know what? I would pay $30 if it didn't come with commentary, but came with the entire soundtrack.
Fair enough. But I'm saying at minimum, I would pay at least. Well, I don't know at least, but $20 or higher. Probably $20 to $30 range is where I would go.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same.
It really does hit all the right buttons. It just you really tugs on the emotion strings. It tells a coherent story on its own. It
It is
follows
well animated.
follows a great logic of just because someone's forgotten doesn't mean all their shit just suddenly decide to vanish too. Which I
I
hate.
love the. Oh, yeah, I hate when movies. I love domino effect movies where things actually make sense. You know, there's so many time travel movies where the time travel paradoxes make no goddamn sense.
Well, like I said, only the memory of Riku is removed, so all the shit's still lying
Yeah,
around.
but they could have easily just made everything about Ruki disappear, which would be very inconsistent because then you wouldn't be able to solve some things. So you'd have to have them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Cone would
If
have no leg to
Cone was
stand
the
on with
only,
his argument.
yeah, if Cone was literally the only linchpin in remembering Rukia, it would feel kind of weird. That was it.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, Cone's a persistent character this entire movie, and they make him the butt of almost all the jokes. It works.
Seems right to me.
I don't care for Cone much, but sometimes his comedy works, and this movie does have some good jokes with him.
And the pacing is well done for this
Yeah,
because it never feels like any moment really drags on too long. You get the
nope.
emotional scenes
Doesn't
with Byakuya, Renji, Ichigo,
yeah.
Cone. You get the understandings from Kiseki, who talks to blah, blah,
Mm. Ichigo and whatnot, and
Ichigo and
Mayuri.
oh my god, what's her name now? The cat lady.
Yoruichi?
Yoruichi, thank you. I don't know why I was blanking on that.
Why did you forget Yoruichi?
I
That surprised
don't
me.
know.
Anyway, this movie is perfectly length. Like maybe have a few extra scenes with like there's no almost no interaction with the human world.
And that's fine.
This is
Like
pretty much the entire.
it's not really that
Yeah,
much needed.
yeah.
My only thing I would like an answer for is where the hell they got that goddamn scythe.
Mm,
Like that's my biggest mystery I want to explain here.
yeah.
And compared to the last movie, yeah, that's not a big deal.
No, yeah. There's this and the last movie are pretty much night and fucking day.
So let's move on
To the
because
last Bleach movie that we're covering because we're not doing the live action one.
no, reason not is like I'll give them credit for following the story as best they can, given that everything was live action, but it just doesn't track well.
No, I've never been a fan of turning uh, what was already on paper into live action. Like the only studio to ever pull that off is Marvel.
I mean, I watched it; it was good. I won't say it was absolute crap or anything like
But,
that. But my problem
like
is
the
like,
Full Metal Alchemist one,
but trying to get the
or
motion.
the Death Note live action one
Can we
from North
please not bring
America.
that up when I'm trying to actually remember good things? But the problem wasn't the acting. The problem wasn't that they were making their own changes to the story. It was the action that just didn't feel right for the because they're trying to make human bodies move like this, and it just
Mm-hmm.
felt a little flat on that end. But I do, like I said, I do give them full credit for trying, and the actors gave it their best shot, and they gave credit for the characters. I will not take that away from them. So it's nothing on the actors said about that movie that went flat.
No, no. It just was more of a question of why, in my opinion.
Uh, I guess just because they could. That's the only explanation I can think of. But
Sorry, I'm just making fun of my cat.
moving on. Now we have Hellverse, the
Hellver,
movie.
also sometimes referred to as Hell Chapter, but that will get confusing because there's a Hell Chapter coming up in the manga eventually.
Oh yeah, I
But yeah,
forgot there
this
was.
is Bleach. This is Bleach Goes to Hell.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Poor Chad didn't even get shown on the cover though.
You know, I'm just now realizing that.
I know he didn't have that big a plot in the movie, but still, poor
Poor
Chad.
Chat, he gets screwed out of a lot of things.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the only one of the four movies that actually uses Ichigo's the human world really well.
Hmm.
So props to it for that.
This is also another one where it's really confusing about the canon.
Yeah, once
Mostly
again
because
because
of
of the manga,
this.
but yeah, they decided to reanimate the Hollow Ichigo versus Ukiura fight, and Kupo has gone out of his way multiple times saying this redone version in the movie is better than the version I made in the manga. It's the version I wanted to draw but never could. And having watched it, fuck yeah!
I just love Hollow Ichigo. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so do I. I also like the fight with Ukiura, and somehow they took one of my favorite fights and condensed it, but made it bigger. I
So
love it. Just if you're not going to watch any of these movies, at least watch the opening scene to this movie where you get to see this fight.
so basically, they're fighting. Ichigo goes on a rampage and expands so much energy it pretty much rattles the cages of hell.
Yeah,
Tell me
from
there's
the
nothing
Hollow
cooler
World.
than that.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking metal sounding. Like that's Dragon Ball Z levels of like power shaking shit. Naruto wishes their things could react with multiple dimensions that level.
So
So
then we get to
the
go to
actual plot of
Ichigo's
this
school.
movie is, yep, there's a crack in hell, so the denizens of hell are trying to escape, and they attack Ichigo's school. Because while they can escape from hell, they can't run from hell. They
Yeah,
are
they're.
bound to it, and hell will pull them back regardless, unless something strong enough to rattle the cages of hell breaks them free.
Mm-hmm. And what do
So
you
they
know that was
beeline for
powerful
Ichigo.
enough to do that?
Yeah,
Hmm.
they beeline for Ichigo in his school.
Yep.
Which I'm just gonna say, the shots, the fight in the human world, really cool colors.
I
This movie
do
uses
like
colors
this, yeah,
really
and
well.
the clash of energy too is a nice touch just for difference, like the purple, pink.
The setting sun in the background as
Mm-hmm.
well leads to some interesting colors in the sky. Like this movie is definitely prettier at times than the last one, despite the fact we go to hell.
Yeah, I think it's
Because
because
let's face it, we've seen this Soul Society too many goddamn times.
yeah, I think that's why because we've seen Soul Society, we've seen the human world,
But
and
here they decide to give the human world different colors, and then we go to hell, which has some different designs.
mm-hmm.
So this movie wins in set dressing.
Yes. So Ichigo gets attacked. So these are the weird things that show up that kidnap Ichigo's sisters.
Yeah,
Yeah, them
Kari and
attacking
Rukia
Ichigo at the
are
school
actually.
was a trap.
It was a distraction, not a trap.
Oh, yeah, my fault.
Yeah. Rukia was trying to protect the sisters because, well, fuck, they're basically her sisters now, too.
So let's get the real elephant in the room out of the way. This is where me and Em agree that Yamamoto really screwed up.
Yeah. See, it's the head captain forbids Ichigo for going into hell to rescue his sisters. Here's the thing: what's the number one thing Ichigo's known for?
Not doing what he's told.
No, doing
Teasing.
whatever he needs to protect, doing whatever he needs to protect people he cares about.
Well, I was like the more important
You
point of not telling Ichigo that hey, people are coming for your family. You might want to go there and protect them.
that also would be helpful. Having just Rukia, like Rukia is strong and skilled. Like, do not give Rukia
No,
any
no, I'm
discredit. I
not.
mean, she's one of the. The thing is, though, these guys are able to escape from hell, which is not an easy feat on its own. Meaning they're probably above average power
Yeah,
levels.
they survived and escaped hell. So that's telling you something.
Yeah, I would definitely have at least, I don't know, a captain, maybe
But I'm just saying,
two.
like, not telling Ichigo right away was kind of a dipshit move.
Yeah.
Like, I understand sometimes I
Um.
can say I understand where old man Yamamoto is coming from. This is not one of them.
Yeah, that's not. This movie does have another flaw to it, which is its terrible use of Ishin Kurosaki by removing him from the story.
Yeah, wasn't he going on vacation or a seminar
He
or
was
something?
going on a medical conference or a seminar. I don't know. He's going to the same seminar Gohan's going to, aka where useful characters go to not exist. Because I believe at this point we had already seen, we definitely had seen Ishin as a Shinigami. So we could have had in this movie Ichigo and his dad teaming up to save the sisters.
Oh, could you imagine a double Getsuga Tensho?
Yes, I'm imagining a father-son Tensho. Because that would have been as cool as the father-son Kamehameha. Way cooler than the family Kamehameha because, well, Goten ruins everything.
No, he doesn't. That's Trunks.
Yes. Yes, he does, because he enables Trunks.
Well, that's Trunks' fault. No, you know what? That's Vegeta's
Anyway,
fault.
you know what? I'll give you that. Because I don't have the balls to say it's Bulma's fault.
Well, it's her fault. I'll have the balls to say it.
But yeah, Yamamoto keeps dropping the ball in this movie in A, not giving Ichigo proper information, B, basically trying to prevent him from doing what he's going to do regardless, so maybe he should send backup with Ichigo because you can't stop Ichigo, you've pretty much proven that.
Yeah.
Also, Ichigo's very important to your linchpins for a lot of plans, so don't gamble with him.
Not to mention, you know these things are from hell. You might want to send just a little bit more backup.
You know, send your smart captain, send Hitsugaya, send Byakuya, send the dog captain, Sanjin? I forget
I
his name.
forget, but I would have sent Byakuya. It's like, hey, go keep your sister safe and keep those two twins safe.
Hey, you can save Ichigo's sister, now you don't have to be in his debt so much.
He might owe you one. And you got to lord it over him.
Wouldn't you like to
bastard.
lord that over him? But yeah, send like a couple of captains to help. Instead, he sends Renji with an escape plan just for Ichigo, which
We'll get
markedly
there in a
dumb
moment.
done.
I mean,
Yeah,
I will not
and
take anything
Rukia,
away from
who
Renji because he has Bankai.
yeah, Renji's would be wicked. Renji's a good choice to have as well. I'm not saying don't send Renji. I'm saying send Renji plus a couple of captains.
I mean, they sent the captains
But
for
don't send
less. Let's be honest here.
they have. I don't know. It's always fun. Maybe her stealth would have helped.
Well, she would have
Also,
been stuck up behind him and just stabbed them both.
there's no Kisuke or Yoruichi in this movie who could have helped. So I'm whatever conference this is, Kisuke and Yoruichi are in too.
You know, that's really confusing now that you mention that.
Yeah. Now, it probably what happened is these guys in Hell did act when Kisuke was not around, which makes sense. He would have probably been able to solve a lot of problems.
Not just picturing them just peering behind them, hello. Shit.
Honestly, it would have been Yoruichi and Kisuke doing that. When those two get into a trolling mood, they must be a fun thing to watch. But yeah, these are nitpicks to these movies because obviously we wouldn't really have a plot without them. Although I will always defend the whole we need
So this is a portal to hell.
And that's Kari and Yuzu being dragged in by.
Let's not consider what he's going to be doing.
Anyway.
You know, I think
Let's
I
hope
know
that's not...
what this is. This is Nemesis' lost brother.
Would he be crying out for moon or stars? Because
Souls.
moon would be funnier because of Gesuka Tensho.
Moons. So, but at the last minute, Karin gets rescued
by another vagabond of hell.
Mm-hmm. God, I cannot remember his name.
Oh, I'll pick up his name in just a second. Unfortunately, yes. Kokuto, I believe his name is. Kokuto. Kokuto informs us that Shuren is the mastermind behind this plan, and he has a handful of, well, misfit minions himself.
Yeah, like I said, shonen trope.
Yeah. And, well, while he's explaining things, Rukia is healing Chad, who did defend the girls as best he could. Sorry, Orihime is healing Chad, I believe, there, who did have at least one fight with one of the misfit minions.
Mm-hmm. And he's explaining, yeah, I got sent to hell, didn't deserve it. You know, like everybody else is going to claim that now.
Yeah. My little sister was taken from me. I got sent to hell. I understand your loss of losing your sister. I'm going to help you get her back and beat up that jerk because I don't like Surin in the slightest.
So they go to hell.
Unfortunately, because there's a ticking time to this. Yuzu's alive, but here's the thing about hell. If you're in hell, hell registers you as belonging in hell. There is no such thing as accidentally in hell's opinion. The bureaucracy of hell is, okay, you're in hell, ergo, you're a sinner.
Ergo, you belong here.
End of conversation.
Kill you.
End of conversation. Begin the endless torment.
Yeah, that's generally how that works.
So, if Yuzu spends too much time in hell, she's dying and becoming sealed in hell, as in the chains of hell will lock her down as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
fun fact.
Invasion... Go ahead.
Hell's got guardians.
Yeah. Big fuckers. So, the rescue team is Ichigo, Renji, Rukia, Uryu, and their new friend Kokoto.
Yes, their new
As
friend.
Kokoto guides them to the lower levels of hell to rescue Yuzu, which
Oh, also
we've
fun
seen Ichigo.
fact:
Mhm.
Ichigo is pretty much going on overdrive at this point.
Yeah, we've seen Ichigo in a desperate need to save both Rukia and Orihime. This is his little sister who he has massive guilt about being the reason why his sisters don't have their mom. His survivor's guilt and his desire and need to protect his sisters is basically putting him on max level.
Yeah, not just that,
And
being in hell is pulling out his hollow. He did
Mhm.
not
And
intend to go this strong.
he's been told multiple times that if his hollow goes wild in hell, it's going to cause a nightmare because it can break the chains. And if it goes rampagey, it might just break a whole bunch of chains. Which could you imagine that jailbreak? And they also point out that hell, while a terrible place, is needed for a cosmic balance.
Hmm.
So him disrupting the cosmic balance is an actual thing. So this has led to multiple dangers to this movie, and I like the escalation here.
Hmm. And it's never really too far out there for Bleach.
No,
Like again, it's
because
not
Bleach has
Godzilla
always dealt with
stopping
this.
through Karakura
Yeah.
Town.
Hmm.
So
So
we get a
this is the main antagonist, Suran, who uses fireballs or fire arrows, and once again, the coloration is very different in this movie with the yellow piss
I keep
sky.
expecting him to yell Hadouken.
He might be doing Ryu's flaming Hadouken, yeah. Or is it Ken who's the flaming Hadouken? I forget.
They both do, so it really
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Look, I prefer Sakura and Akuma. So I don't
Same. So
remember.
I want to hold it against you.
I do know one of them is a flaming Shoryuken, though.
That would be
I think
Ken.
that's Ken. Okay.
So they fight, blah blah blah. And guess who was the real main villain?
Yeah, Kokuken betrays Ichigo last minute in an actual pretty well animated scene and reveals he was the mastermind the whole time. He was
So
using
when he
Shurin.
lost his sister, he would have murdered the person who took his sister, thereby committing a sin of murder.
He also went a bit above and beyond when it comes to that murder, apparently, too.
Yeah. This raises a lot of questions for anything that could wind up in hell. So
Yeah. Well, we find out in the manga that captains go to hell automatically because of their power levels.
yeah, so there's a lot of
Yeah.
issues with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're too powerful? To hell. Wait, why? Because you're too powerful. But I've done nothing but good. Don't care. So maybe
Yeah.
someone needs to go over to the management in hell.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing the bureaucracy from Futurama running hell.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
It does.
But so shit gets real. Ichigo starts going hollow. Uh, Rukia and everybody else kind of gets the shit knocked out of him.
Chap. But Renji does the backup plan of sending Ichigo back to the human world, luckily with Yuzu.
Yep.
The downside is Renji, Uryu, and Rukia got left behind.
Yeah, kind of a terrible plan there.
Yeah, so now Ichigo has guilt of getting his friends trapped in hell,
So
so
now
he
we're
goes right
going
around.
back to hell.
That would have been a decent title for this movie as well. Back to hell.
So
And you're like,
Ichigo's
why is it
kind of
called
pissed
that?
about that.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
Yeah. So back to hell we go, and they've looked
And
better.
yeah, these guys have already been made denizens of hell for torture.
Yeah. Either that or tree people. I can't tell which. But then in that movie,
Either that or Cell just started eating Renji.
you know, now that you mentioned, I can see it. My God, Cell's a soul reaper.
That would have been fun.
Rukia's getting her daily lava bath. Reports are going to be fantastic.
The set of lungs she must have really to scream on lava.
But no, she's just being tortured like the rest of them, pretty much.
Yeah. Hell
So,
has one maneuver, and it's very good at it.
so Ichigo comes to save them and locks blades with
Kokoto.
Kokudo.
Yeah. And the entire time, much like his last time in Hell, he is fighting his Hollow Mask.
And might be losing.
Yeah.
Because even his wounds are spewing out the white hollow stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he does
But
eventually lose.
he
But
but he does keep trying to fight himself.
mhm. So he's fighting Kokuto and himself at the same time. Man, guy's got a busy schedule.
He does.
And like I said, I love this Hollow Ichigo design.
Yes.
Like this is fabulous. Like I always considered this what was the top thing of Aron card called?
Vasto Lorde.
I always considered this Vasalorde Ichigo.
It can't be because of the way Vasto Lords work, but the community has dubbed it that, and I'm not going to argue with them about that.
No, but
It's not what it is, but it just close enough.
it feels like it to me. Like this is I still
Yeah.
just love the design. Like the
Yeah.
fluffy red his wrist, around his neck, the long blonde hair, the
Mhm.
white armor. It's just one of my favorite designs.
It is really good.
So then Hell Guardians decide to get involved. You know,
Yep.
where
The
were you guys
bureaucracy
like
of Hell
20
has
minutes
been
ago?
moved. Well, I think they chose this battleground down here because it's where the guards have a slower time getting to.
Possibly.
Look, when you're in a jail long enough, all you have time to do is notice the flaws in the jail.
Fair. Plus, I think they were playing Uno. This would have won.
The guards have mandatory breaks.
No, I just think they were playing Uno just because they got nothing else to do. Because Hell is pretty much auto torture.
Fair enough.
So we get this awesome form,
Yeah,
which is
Ichigo
bizarre at the same time.
It is. It could use a little bit of rework, but at the same time, it is supposed to be kind of last minute feel to it.
My only biggest complaint is leaving half his stomach exposed.
Yeah, that is weird.
Like I understand the arm, so he has free reign with his sword arm, and he can use the shield like his arm. The headpiece, I really don't give a shit about because it's just the biggest complaint
weirder
is
masks have been done.
yeah, and the only big complaint is that it's covering his one eye. But then again, he gets sent spirit energy anyway, so that's kind of pointless, regardless one way or the other.
Yeah,
But just to have stomach exposed just bothers the hell out of me.
yeah, I'm not gonna argue about that. That is still weird.
But the gold armor and the skulls and the bone looking piece of it, I like it.
No,
Magnifique.
I like it a lot too. It is a really nice non-canon form, and it makes sense why he can't ever get it back.
Mm-hmm.
He basically needs Hell's approval to have this form.
So, Kokudo gets sent back to a deeper level of hell because he was not a nice
first,
person.
First, Ichigo uses the power of Dennis' Hell to break all of his chains. This allows Hell to establish a new set of chains.
Yeah.
So he goes from a dozen chains, which he had been actually using as weapons throughout the fight.
Yeah, that was actually pretty
use
nice
what you got
touch.
for. Yeah, but with no chains in the way, new ones can just be pushed right in, and Jesus.
Yeah, that's kind of a question point. Is like, couldn't you have just done this in the first place?
Could have, but
Like,
this was
what
more
is the
intense.
rules here? Like, I think that's also why I like the third movie more because there's just some questions I just would like answered.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only main question I had for the third one was the scythe. This one I got a couple of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
By the way, when you're in hell and you're surrounded by guardians of hell, don't release the armor
Yeah,
until you leave.
that's Ichigo. That's Ichigo's one dumb move because while he has it, he is basically a bureaucrat of hell. He has, authority over things.
Because once he's
And he
getting
decided-
that armor, yeah, we're right back to this situation.
Ah, damn it! But
And
they need.
yes, they are running towards that because he's blocking the exit.
Yeah,
And those things are massive.
I love the designs though.
It kind of. I'm not trying to weird. It kind of gives me like an alien orangutan thing because its arms are like
Yeah,
massive.
yeah, they're called Kushanadas, I believe.
I wonder what the English translation of that is.
Literally, it translates to Guardians of Hell.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm pretty sure it translates to.
Maybe, well, why don't you look that up real quick? Because
Hmm. Well, the form Ichigo has is called Skullclad, or Sukurukuruduro. Uh,
ain't that a
my
mouthful?
Sukarukurado.
By the way, in case you're curious, Suzu's gonna be all right.
Yuzu is going to be okay. I love this scene because she had a chain in her, and Karin was by her side the entire time because Karin kind of was aware what happened. Yuzu has no memory of hell, thank fuck.
Oh God, yes.
I don't know if she's just repressing it. I hope not. I hope she literally has no memory because of magic. But it's just cute to have the sisters just interact because one of my pet peeves with Bleach is the sisters actually could have been really useful or interesting characters.
So either
I
Kaz
still
making sure
also,
she's all right, or make sure she's using the proper brand of deodorant.
well, they are preteen girls. You do need to start learning about hygiene soon.
But so this movie is, I want to say either an 8 or a 9 to me.
Yeah.
It only goes to an 8 because I have some couple questions about some of the bizarre things going on here that are not quite lore breaking, but just bizarre to me for some reason.
Yes.
And that's it. Like, this stands toe to toe with movie number 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, depending on my mood, I will flip flop on which one I like slightly more.
I mean, I love the action. I love the idea.
Yep.
I love the
Yep.
designs for everything, except for the exposed stomach.
Tentacle arms.
Um, I'm just gonna repress that memory.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Getting the sisters involved was a nice touch because they're usually, as you said,
Yep.
put aside, and nobody has. I just think it's that nobody has to go to mess with those two because it would bring down Ichigo faster than all hell, literally.
I mean, yeah, he literally stormed hell for one of them. Imagine if both were taken.
Um, it
I don't think he would have held back the hollow if that had
it
happened.
literally shows what a powerhouse Hollow Ichigo is, which I'm always for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And will tell you that any fight that Hollow Ichigo's involved in, I always loved.
Yeah.
Um,
It's also some of, if you ask me, some of Johnny's best acting as Ichigo as well in this movie.
yeah, I think the only things that really left out the question is like, where was Kizuki during all this?
Mm-hmm.
Ishin at least had the easiest of going to that medical thing.
Yeah, which, I don't know, he turned his phone off like an idiot.
I
And also, we also could maybe fudge things and say in this movie reality he doesn't have his full Reaper power, so he would have been useless.
um
Why is Yamamoto so unable to figure out what Ichigo's going to do and how to work around Ichigo?
yeah, because he got a lot better during in the Fullbringer arc.
The manga, yeah. Yeah.
Yamamoto is like one of the best and most infuriating written characters from Bleach for me.
Yeah.
Because I can, like I said, a lot of times I can understand where he's coming from, being the old leader of these
Yeah.
Spirit Reapers. He does have to.
I know he doesn't like to get the human world involved, but that's still not a very good excuse.
No, it's like I can understand he's trying to do what he thinks is right. I will not question his thought. Well, his thought process. I question his loyalty to the Soul Reapers and trying to defend mankind.
Yeah.
His duty is unshakable. I will give him that.
Same.
The process for that is going to leave a lot of questions to be needed to be asked.
Yes.
Because there are ways that would make his life so much easier too.
Yes.
And by the time the full bring comes around, it looks like he's coming around to it.
Then he kind of flip flops a little bit in the manga, but not that much.
Well, I think the reason he flip flops is because he's still struggling with the change because of how long he's been doing it his way. So I kind of appreciate that. It's not just a miracle change. that I hate some shows do just out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I can appreciate because just because something's changed doesn't mean it's gonna be so easy for him to
Yeah.
adopt to it. So I appreciate that. It could be frustrating for some people. I can understand, but to me, it feels, for lack of better words, human in that regard.
I'll give you that.
So if you think it's bad writing, good writing, that's up to you. But I
Fair
think it's
enough.
time we took this to a close.
Yeah.
And
Overall, I think the Bleach movies are a fun diversion in the series.
yeah, I like I said, the only real problem child was the second one with Toshiro
Mm-hmm.
because
It's
all
like like I said, the first one is just standard good. Like it's
mhm.
not gonna rock the world, but it is still enjoyable if you're a Bleach
It's
fan.
the standard
But
shonen
movies three and
first movie syndrome is what I call it.
yeah, movie 3 and 4. If you're a Bleach fan and have not watched them, I literally think you're doing a disservice to yourself.
They are fantastic, especially if you know some of the things that are going on in the background. Some of the smaller details you can see that you recognize from the actual series.
Yeah.
Um, Little details you can pick up and add to future things that you might be watching now
Mm-hmm.
pop up.
Now, the fourth movie will probably have some canonicity problems when we learn more about Hell,
Maybe
but
it won't because they may try and be smart about it some way. But
Kubo did say he liked this movie, so he probably will try not to destroy it for the sake of fans' enjoyment of it.
to be fair, this one and the first one I could see being canon. Maybe
Yes.
even the third one could be canon because it doesn't really change much.
No, Memory Shenanigans is also could make it canon. But movie 2 cannot be canon,
No, it changes too
which is a
many
good thing.
rules.
It's
Now,
a
if
good thing
that's
that it's not
because he was
canon.
making them up on the fly, I don't think so. But it's an excuse I can see coming.
Well, Kubo was known to change his plans partway through writing them.
I'm saying it could also
Originally,
be a
I was even supposed.
Toriyama moment where he just plain forgot
Yeah,
because there's a lot of details in Bleach, and if you forgot some of that just to make a fun movie, fair. Just doesn't mean it just means I'm gonna have
yeah,
a lot more questions about the movie.
yeah.
So
And we're not going to come at things and be automatically mad if things are not canon. I mean, there are various things in certain canons where I'm like, this non-canon movie is still really fun. Like,
oh yeah, most
let's
definitely.
go. A handful of Dragon Ball Z movies are non-canon as fuck, and I still enjoy them. Like Cooler's movie, Android 13's movie. They're not canon. They're dumb movies, but I find them fun.
My favorite dub movie is World's Strongest. I'll admit to that.
I mean, World Strongest is good, but World Strongest, yeah, World Strongest cannot be canon. So let's add that one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's only because of one thing it can't be canon. That's really gonna drive up a wall. But
We'll
then
get to
again,
that when we do
it's
the
like
World Strongest
I don't
movie, though.
understand why it's Lord Bloom that Garlic Jr.'s canon. It's like, do you know what you had to break reality wise to get
No,
that to be
Garlic Jr.
canon?
is not canon. Garlic Jr. is not canon. The filler arc with him and the movie is not canon.
Oh, okay. That's still
Yeah.
annoying though.
Oh, oh yeah, it is. Not even dislike Garlic Jr. and it annoys the crap
I
out of me.
don't
But
dislike
we'll
it.
save
I'm
that
just
when we
like
do
this.
Dragon Ball Z.
It just destroys
We'll
things for
save
me.
that when we do Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. But listen, I gotta go underneath the castle to get to our next part.
All right. Just make sure you bring 5 people with you to help you out.
But yeah, next time we will
But
be
yeah,
comparing Tears of the Kingdom and
the
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. Why'd
Eh.
you say file?
I know. I was like, bleh. I've been doing too much
But yeah,
schoolwork.
fair enough. So look forward to that. Um,
It will be something of a bit of a difference for the show because
yes.
it's comparing two things head to head in a manner
Yes.
speaking.
And the two of us are on different sides of the fence on which is the better game.
Yeah, and I don't think either of us is wrong, really.
No, I don't think either one is wrong. But we're also just going to say that we think both games are masterclasses in
Oh
terms of
yes,
most
most definitely.
companies. Yeah.
Plus, there's also things
All
about the
right.
other game that we like too. So look forward to it, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll see you all next time on Dragon Ball. No, wait, no.
We'll see you next time on Triggering Chaos.
We'll come with a better outro.